I just wanted to talk to you about some politics and break it down to you in a way that anybody could understand, even a stoner, because I'm a stoner and I'm pretty hot right now. So I should be pretty easy to understand. Or, and by easy to understand, I mean I might ramble a little bit, but for the most part, I'm gonna break it down because I'm too hot to freaking sound complicated right now. So yeah, let's get into it. Yo, I'm tired of hearing about gun control. I hate to tell it to you, but that shit is it's racist. It's time for you to learn exactly why. As with a lot of American history, things aren't always the way that they seem. So, let me take you back all the way back to the 1960s. In the 1960s, black people were terrorized en masse by police officers every day throughout this country, citywide, in the country backwoods, in Chicago, California, New York, wherever whatever city you wanted to go to, you could find cases of police tyranny in mass because who knew in the 1960s cops were racist as fuck. So in 1966, the Black Panther Party was founded, and they were founded primarily to police the police and stop all the brutality that was happening in the black community due to police tyranny. So, how were they able to stop these crazy ass cops with a badge and a right to kill and a big ass ego and a hatred fueled by racism? Well, they did what any great American would do. They exercised their Second Amendment rights, and they decided to get together and make and set armed patrols out that would follow police officers on their day-to-day duties. And whenever the police officers would stop and interact with the community, the Black Panthers would stop and they would stay a safe legal distance away from the police officers with their rifles out, and they would make sure that the police officers didn't brutalize anyone in the community because nobody wants to have a shootout with four dudes with AKs and shit. That's not a fun Saturday. I'm telling you. I haven't been in a shootout, but I'm telling you that's not how I'm trying to spend my shift on Monday, you know. Hey. Anyways, so they were able to keep police tyranny in check. And of course, with anything that black people do, you know Uncle Sam had to stop that shit at the same time because he was like, "Wait a minute. You can't use these rules against us. You can't just take your rights and defend yourself, and you can't just flip the script on us, bro. Hell no, hell no." So Uncle Sam got his boy Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time, Ronald Reagan, and his special guest, the NRA. Yeah, surprise, surprise. The NRA and Ronald Reagan came together to they signed together something called the Mulford Act in 1967. And here's what the Mulford Act was put into place for. Pretty much to stop the Black Panthers from openly carrying their guns. They didn't want them to be roaming around the streets making sure their officers weren't terrorizing the community because damn, why would you want to stop the police officers from doing a job that needs to be done? Like they're out there doing great jobs, just beating up on black people, shooting them, killing them, it's that's fine. That's what the police need to do. There's no reason for you guys to try and stop that. So, you need to chill. So yeah, 1965, they passed the Mulford Act. It was a state bill prohibiting the open carry of loaded firearms, along with an addendum that prohibited loaded firearms in the state capitol because they also protested in the state capitol with their firearms. And that was a very peaceful protest because, of course, everybody there had guns, which is great because when people, the moral of this story ultimately is that when the people who are being terrorized by these goons, even if they have a badge, they have a military uniform on, whatever, when you have a gun and you are equal with whoever is standing across from you. It doesn't matter if you're a woman, if you're a child. I'm not saying children should be having weapons, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter the size, the sex, how old you are, what color you are, how poor you are, how rich you are. If you got the strap on you and the ops is coming, you can still put them down just like anybody else. Don't matter. And that's a great equalizer. And the state does not like to have equal they don't like to have equal power with the community. They like to have as much power over the people as possible. So, of course, that's why these gun laws came out. So, surprise, surprise, if you look at California now, it has the strictest gun laws in the country. I wonder why. Yep. And then, if you were wondering, even after the 1967 Act, they passed another one, which was called the Gun Control Act of 1968, which, get this, it adopted new laws prohibiting certain people from owning guns, it provided for beefed up licensing and inspections of gun dealers, and it also restricted the importation of these things. They were called I'm a tongue twist that one. They were called cheap Saturday night specials, which pretty much were pocket pistols, and they were very popular in the urban communities. So they cut all that shit out because they wanted to cut as much access from the black community and being able to defend themselves as possible. So when you think of gun control, just remember where it started. When you think of giving police all the weapons and giving them the ultimate power to do whatever they want because they have control over the deadly force, this is what you get. You get communities that are terrorized by their officers in one way or another. It may not be now, it may not be later. You may see a country that has no guns and they might be fine now. It might be 30 years from now. It could be 100 years from now. But my point is, wherever you look and you see gun control, you're probably going to see state tyranny pretty soon afterwards. So when you think of gun control, just remember, that's just pretty racist.